I started distrusting the government was a long time ago. I had to think back. It, I think it stemmed, maybe something more, but the biggest thing I could think is it stemmed from the media and the government telling me and telling everybody the music that I enjoyed and I liked a lot and I was interested in would turn me in to a Satan worshiping serial killer. It's all about, rock and roll and the devil and heavy metal, and that will turn you into some sort of Satan worshiping zombie, or I'll do seances. I will sacrifice animals, and it might lead up to humans. I will drink blood, all that kind of stuff, all that nonsense that was going on. Early 80s, even into the late 80s, 90s. And so the songs, the artists, that kind of stuff was starting to get a lot of press because it was bad, and you shouldn't watch that, you shouldn't listen to that, you shouldn't watch these artists, you shouldn't listen to them. And from there, I knew a lot of these artists' lyrics and things they had done, and I've been to a lot of concerts when I was younger. And I started to think things, and I'm like, a little bit of practical thinking made me think, that's not going on. What they're talking about isn't what it is. They're taking snippets of things and little cuts of video and saying it's something else and portraying it as something else. No matter what their end game was, no matter what their goal was to have pushed beyond fear, because fear it was. And then they got the towns involved, churches involved, parents involved. I know when I was younger, I was not able to listen to certain music. I had to hide it. It didn't stop me from listening to bands and albums and that kind of stuff. But as far as my parents knew, they stopped me because they were helping me. They were going to prevent me from becoming a devil worshiper, a Satan worshiper, that kind of stuff, and someone who sacrifices animals and does seances and everything. It didn't stop me. It just made me be a little more careful with where I put things, how I shared things, and when I listened to things. I think that sort of resembles the illegal war on drugs that's out there. Same sort of deal. You're not ending anything. You're just putting stuff into hiding, and people are going to do what people want to do. Anyways, on that note, so just a few things on that. One of the bands was Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Blue Oyster Cult, Alice Cooper, Motley Crue they were horrible with the one song they had. Shout at the Devil, AC/DC. AC/DC back then, the rumor was it meant Against Christ, Devil's Children. Judas Priest, Kiss. I wasn't a big fan of Kiss, but come on, really, Kiss? Party all night, rock and roll, have good times. That's Kiss. They're the ones you should be worried about. I've heard rumors back then that it stood for Knights in Satan's Service. Marilyn Manson, that was another one. There was because he would come out and bluntly try to provoke people, whether it was try to get his name out there more, try to get front page news, free exposure, free advertising for the most part. Marilyn Manson, he was great at that. Towns wouldn't let him play. Priests and pastors were against him. It was all promotion, which he was great at, but the narrative was, you can't listen to him. He's going to be horrible. It's going to rot your brain. It's going to turn you into something you're not. I remember one of the rumors was that he would give away drugs at his concerts, free drugs, to all the kids that were there in the audience. Beyond that being stupid, which I thought when I was younger, and I was at concerts and I never saw any of that, I know he addressed that when he's been interviewed, in one of his comments to that were, if I have drugs, I'm not giving them away for free. I'm charging people to come to my concerts because that's how I make a living. So I'm not going to turn around and give away these expensive drugs for free. That made sense to me. And then from this whole deal was at West Memphis 3. I don't know if you know anything about that, but you should look into it, West Memphis 3. About the three children, three kids where they were accused of killing and torturing and maybe even sexually abusing three younger children where they lived around the area. I think one or a couple of them were into Boy Scouts and that kind of stuff. And they saw them, they saw they wore these black concert t-shirt things, they saw the music they listened to and the poems they wrote and that kind of stuff. And then boom, instantly they were it. No more investigation. They were it. They got tried. I will say horribly tried, unconstitutionally tried, falsely tried. It was a horrible court case, and they got put away for life. Years later, I think it was 2012 or something like that, they finally reversed it and released them all. They didn't say the government was wrong. They just said, hey, don't ask me to change this. You can just be set free. And then they looked at it, well, one of them was on death row, and if they didn't make a decision, and they tried to keep going forward to get freely off their record, one of them might have been executed because his time was getting close. So anyways, on that note, that's how I started distrusting the government. So once I started distrusting the government, I started looking into things more. And I ran across some stuff over the years, and I just want to say a few here. I got some stuff on a sheet of paper here. One of them was they're letting black Americans die of syphilis when treatment was available. Telling them that what they were receiving was a cure or a vaccine to this thing, even though they were being injected with this thing just to see how they react and how harmful it was and how their body would react. That's what they did, black Americans. Another one was Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. I'm sure some of you guys remember that one. So we must go to war. Come to find out, that was all false. That was a lie. Both red and blue, Republican and Democrat, were behind that 100%. CIA using drug experiments to try to control behavior. It started in 1953 and lasted until 1973, called Project MK Ultra. It was a CIA program that illegally experimented on Americans and Canadian citizens to try to control behavior through certain things, whether it's drugs, whether it was indoctrinating them, whether it was having them do group thinks experiments, that kind of stuff, injecting people with plutonium. Starting in the early 1940s, the government exposed unsuspecting citizens to radioactive elements in order to study their effects as a part of the Manhattan Project. Adding poisoned alcohol. This I've talked about this in the video of mine before. They killed over 10,000 American citizens. So during Prohibition, the U.S. government was upset that so many people were selling alcohol when they weren't supposed to, and so many people were buying it. They put poison in the alcohol, hoping that would deter them from selling and from purchasing. It didn't deter anything, any behavior. All it did was cause more death. Exposing poor cancer patients to large doses of radiation. The Pentagon sponsored a program led by Dr. Eugene L. Spenger of the University of Cincinnati to test the effects of radiation on the human body. 21 patients died within a month of their exposure under this guy's orders. Many were poor and 60% were black. Completing chemical experiments with mustard gas on sailors. Sailors would come back, or when they're out, did various experiments on sailors with mustard gas. Recruiting Nazis to live in America after World War II. The U.S. government brought nearly 1,500 Germans who had experimented on Jews and supported the Holocaust to American soil, giving them new identities and letting them live freely among the citizens in secret. Also, one thing through a court case was they had announced cigarette smoke is no more addictive than coffee, tea, or Twinkies. So I just ask with these things, I mean, I started to distrust in the government at an early age because of the music that they wanted to. So it was harmful, excuse me, horrible, and was going to change me into some sort of monster. I started questioning that younger, and as I get older, I looked more and more into it, and I found more and more things. So I just had to ask myself recently, what's next? I know they have this whole vaccine scare, or this whole virus scare for this vaccine thing that has never been tested. This is a different kind of thing. But they got the fear there, so people will react to it. Is it a controlled behavior thing? I don't know. Is it something to get people to do what they otherwise wouldn't do? I don't know. I'm sort of leaning towards that just because I know this virus or this thing that they have out there is on average 99.97% survivable. That seems pretty dang survivable to me. I believe the last figure I heard was you have a better chance of going outside and getting struck by lightning than you would of dying from this thing. That's the last thing I heard. So anyways, so what's next? What's next? Is there going to be a planned food shortage? And I've seen rumblings of this all this year of 2020. And I've seen states starting to stockpile food, a ton of it, to prepare for a food shortage. Well, there's nothing on the horizon that's out of the ordinary besides the stuff where they're causing people to shut down farmers not to do what farmers need to do. In that case, they can't, distribute the stuff out there on a food level that needs to get out there. But that can be taken care of. I mean, we can get over that. But they're talking about a major food shortage in the background, and I fear that that's coming. And then once governments get all this stuff they need, they'll roll out this food shortage. This is my opinion. And then, you know what? You're hungry, you need food. Come here, we have it. Do what we say. Do what we say you need to do, and then we'll provide for you. It's just something. I could be absolutely wrong. A major hack. Is there going to be a major hack and a threat that they're saying is from China, Russia, North Korea, from somewhere else? And because of that, they need to, even get stricter with things, sort of like the TSA, which is a temporary thing, which hasn't helped anything for terrorism, but it absolutely has helped the people, the numbers of financial gains, and also took away freedoms and continues to take away our freedoms. How about an EMP? EMP like a power attack, wiping out the grid. Maybe that's around the horizon. And you know what? In the back of my head, I think it sounds crazy. I really do. But 2018, even 2019, if you still want to talk to me about all this stuff they've shut down and masks you got to wear and all this stupid stuff, I say that the virus isn't going to get you if you're sitting down eating, but once you stand up, you got to put the mask on. That doesn't help. But for some reason, the virus stays away because it's scared of a mask. And once you get back to your seat from using the restroom or wherever you went, you sit back down, take the mask off, then the virus won't affect you. I mean, this is ridiculous. But so that I would have told you you're insane if you said it's going to happen. That's happened. And more insane things have happened around this whole ailment. But I could see them pushing an alien attack. I very well could. Because you want to get the people scared. You want to get some sort of enemy, hopefully invisible. It's better for them. And then because we're here to protect you, we're here to save you, this is what you need to do, and this is why we're doing this to you. Come on, everyone needs to get along. Whoever doesn't go along with this, they're bad. They're the bad person. They're the people that want you to die. They're the people that want the aliens to get at you. I know it sounds crazy, but I wouldn't put it past them. I know earlier this year they already said something about releasing documents on aliens. But anyways, so I just had to say these things. I look into this stuff. I'll try to put some links there, but really I look into this stuff. There's a reason that this has happened. There's a reason that things are happening now that 2 years ago you would have said are crazy and you're insane for saying this stuff. But thanks for watching. As always, stay vigilant. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Protect your health. Protect your wealth.